Leo, honorable
Sure.
mentions that you didn't have time to mention today.
Bong Joon-ho movies, The Host and Snowpiercer, both
Snowpiercer.
fucking excellent movies.
Yes.
Sci-fi, awesome. Edge of Tomorrow, I mentioned it earlier, love it, so good.
Love it.
Interstellar, rewatched that recently. I know you did too.
Ugh,
I want to say it's a
thank
perfect
God.
movie.
Yeah.
It's like Christopher Nolan at his best, where it's like a followable narrative versus
Right.
fucking Tenet or whatever the fuck that was.
Right.
The Matrix, it's a classic for a reason.
I mean, come
It's
on. Yeah.
perfect. It's so good. And it's also awesome to rewatch with the context of the Wachowski siblings and like analogies of transgenderism and all this. Like, it's very cool to revisit. Everything Everywhere at All at Once, calling it sci-fi, possibly my favorite movie.
Goodness.
It's just
Cried so much. I couldn't stop crying in the third act.
I started crying at 40 minutes into the movie, and I just cried until the end. And I walked away from the movie wanting to be a better human. Like, how the fuck? How?
That's art, baby.
That's art, baby. The Iron Giant. The Iron
Never
Giant.
seen
Another. You've.
I know.
I need to
I've
stop.
I've seen, I think, the most important scene. That doesn't count, I take it. Okay.
It is another like perfect movie. It's like it is. God, I need to stop being surprised. Once I knew you hadn't seen Mulan, I just need to be like, okay, it's a 50-50.
Right.
This classic, I would say go watch it. It's also like the director lost his wife to gun violence, like a random like gun like.
Oh my gosh.
So the entire movie is like anti-guns and weapons and this robot struggling to understand its role because it is a weapon, but like what does that mean? And it gets to have a choice. It's a fucking devastatingly beautiful movie that is so worth every praise I can lay upon it. So go watch that, Abu. And then just a quick shout out for some games. The Portal series, fantastic.
Right.
Dead Space, fucking love it. I love dark, spooky space games.
Too spooky for me.
And then Outer Wilds was also a fucking excellent time loop kind of space game.
Yeah. Man, I've tried Outer Wilds multiple times, and it fails to get its claws in me, not because it's not a great game, but because I can just never get in the right mindset for it. I need to give it a real college try one of these days.
It's really one of those games that on paper you're like, that's never going to work. Like getting people to go through these like very obscure puzzles that are galaxy wide or solar system wide, and yet somehow it comes together.
Yeah.
But those are my little honorable mentions. What about you?
Amazing.
What's your
Great
list?
Okay, my honorable mentions real quick. Pacific Rim.
Sick.
I love it.
So good.
That's all I have to say about that. No, it's incredible. Pacific
Big
Rim
robots.
is amazing, underrated. And, sometimes an average movie can be a spectacular movie. And that's what Pacific Rim is.
I've said this before. I think Pacific Rim did something that I wish more movies did. Big robot punches the other robot or the kaiju or whatever they're fighting.
Yep.
And the hand into the office and it knocks the little Newton's cradle.
Yes, that's right. Right.
Thing. That moment, we need more of that because it reminded you of the scale of these big robots because it's so easy to like zoom too far out and just be like, oh, these are human-sized things fighting in a small, like a sand pit. That was so cool. And that was a very good moment for the, for that.
Exactly.
That
Godzilla vs. Kong movies. Take notes.
Yes. Oh, please. Fucking please.
Get the scale right. Now we're just talking about Pacific Rim. When the Gypsy Danger grabs the battleship and whacks the shit out of the I was such a kid watching that movie, like screaming at everything happening in that movie. So good. I mean, the acting is extremely subpar, but everything else is incredible.
Fine. It is fine if I'm generous. Yeah. But excellent movie for sure.
Yeah. Idris Elba, I guess, is really spectacular.
He's great.
Canceling the apocalypse, baby. That was like my fucking mantra for like 3 whole months after watching this movie. Okay. Video game wise, honorable shout out to Mass Effect, my favorite video game series of all time. Yeah. The whole trilogy is perfection. Honestly, other sci-fi games need to get on this fucking level because nothing as good has ever come out since, in my opinion. Lost. Lost actually almost made it to my actual pick before I swapped it out for Cowboy Bebop. That was tough. I didn't know which way to go there, but
sci-fi.
Lost is most definitely sci-fi.
Really?
Yes, it's. I mean, it's well. It could. Yeah, I suppose you could argue, but
yeah.
It's like it established, like, Lost is in that like pantheon of television shows that like established what TV could be, how great TV could be. I mean, things like Sopranos and The Wire, I think, also sort of live up in that pantheon. Just establishing like what prestige TV and what mystery box television can and should be like.
Yeah.
Lost. I will never ever forget the night I first started watching Lost, and I knew I was all in on this show the second John Locke said, "Don't tell me what I can't fucking do." And I was like, I'm in, baby. Like, this show is incredible. And it lived up.
The slow reveal.
I know people have feelings about season 6 and the ending, but
sure,
I love it.
But also, like, the slow reveal that things were not as they seemed.
Yeah.
Had me. Like, I love
Incredible.
It's again, great show for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. And the whole cast is just, you love and hate the whole cast so much. It's incredible. Another book that didn't make it on my list today, Slaughterhouse-5. I love Kurt Vonnegut. A bunch of anime that I couldn't squeeze in.
It's too long. Yeah.
Like, anime of itself could be a whole episode
Akira,
of me
Ghost
gushing.
In the Shell, like,
right. Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Space Dandy. Digimon, of course, is like truly formative to me.
Gundam.
Fuck Pokemon. Get out of here. No, I love Pokemon too. Gurren Lagann, like, sometimes I still whisper to myself, let me see you grit those teeth. And I used to really obnoxiously tell my friends, like, you don't have to believe in yourself, believe in the me that believes in you. Pulled straight from Gurren Lagann. Like, this show defined of my life for so many years, and I loved it. Watchmen, both the graphic novel and the movie, which is controversial. A lot of people hate the movie.
Movie was fun.
I love it. It's fun. It's like very Snyder in a very Snyder way, but I think for once it actually fit, and Watchmen was fun to watch.
You're stuck in here with me. Excellent moment.
Incredible.
The owl jet shooting flamethrowers at the moment of climax.
Yes.
Awesome. No notes.
I too climaxed, right? No notes.
Blue penises everywhere. Spectacular stuff.
Yeah. I will say, if you didn't like the Snyder movie and that's the reason you didn't watch the HBO show, you fucked up.
Fuck. Yeah, the HBO show is incredible.
The HBO show is easily one of the best TV shows I've watched in the last 10 years.
It's so good.
And it's like I don't know that it ever got renewed for a season 2 because it doesn't really have to. It's like a one and done. You just watch one season of it. You get a complete, near perfect story. That's so good. Oh!
I would love to go back and watch that again for the first time. Like,
yeah, truly. I mean, I cried so hard in the last episode. Incredible stuff. And finally, another show that I want to shout out, Love, Death, and Robots, which is like sort of a sci-fi short film anthology thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
And my goodness. I mean, like, again, you get your duds every now and then, but this show is full of incredible creative ideas. It's like if Ted Chiang took Exhalation and turned it into a TV show. Yeah. And so I wanted to shout that out as well. That's my list.
Excellent. Nice.
And that's the sci-fi that we love. That isn't Dune. And that is
also isn't anime.
And also isn't anime. Yeah, totally.
We really couldn't talk about. I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, Paprika is basically an anime movie. Neon Genesis Evangelion was almost like my TV pick. Like, that was an incredible show. There's so many that are so fucking rad. So yeah, maybe we'll have to come back and.
Right, anime is its own beast.
Yeah, for sure it is.